Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Yep, out here with the Borg Cube grinding again. I'm sure some people are getting maybe a little tired of the content, but I did tear up again. There is an event to upgrade the cube. There is an event to grind with the cube, so it does seem somewhat fitting. Now I have more power to the laser. I have, how much do I have here? 93,000. So I can go and I can hit higher. A few levels higher. I'm still gotta, I'm here. Bernard Star. It's where right here, right above Soul. You do have to be careful in selecting your systems, because when you start get to these high 30s, you start seeing some of these veteran hostiles. They're not just regular old Federation transport. You can see some veteran Federation transport. Their hull numbers are different. They're much bigger. So that is why I selected Bernard Star here. Or Barnard? Barnard Star. Barnard, whichever. But as you can see, I do still have to double tap the hostile. Still haven't gotten enough to one-shot the level I want to be able to hit. I do actually have a copy of this chart here. Information here on the Borg Cube. I did not make this chart. This chart was made by, as you can see in the bottom left corner of the chart, Blue Mandalorian, Jules Verne, Talking Trek, and the STFC community. Give them credit. So where am I at? I'm at tier 4. Allegedly, I should have my Borg Cube's power should be equivalent to an Augur, an Enterprise, a D4 at tier 3. The Borg Cube itself, I think, yes, it is relatively close to that power. The cutting beam is not. Because, as you can see, here at, what tier am I? Tier 4. It's only 93,000. Okay, I mean, that's, yeah, it's enough. I mean, I'll get the job done. But what hostiles are you grinding with your tier 3 G3 epic ship? I think you're grinding hostiles that are a little bit bigger than this. And why are you grinding bigger hostiles? Well, you want faction rep. You want... Yeah, there is, to a certain extent, you may be farming ship parts. They're a little easier to come by down here in G3, but farming them isn't a bad idea. But mostly, I think it's faction rep and maybe some drops from the chest. There's not a whole lot that really drops from these chests. Certain systems, the drops can get very good. And I'll move on to that system in a little bit. I'm actually trying to kill this 39 and then move on to the next section. But it's not going as fast as I would have liked. It's kind of weird that my cube is just staying right here. Like, why is the cube not over here with the 39? I'm not sure I really understand that part. Okay. Stuck here in Barnard Star because, like I have been discussing, and I think a lot of you out there agree, that I think the cutting beam is weak. Yes, you can make the argument, well, how big should it really be for a mid-30s player? Well, mid-30s player is who is going to have their G3 Epic ship up to Tier 3. Tier 6, maybe it's high 30s, maybe. Could still be a mid-30s player. I mean, you get the ships at 34. So, Tier 5, when you get those G3 Epic ships up to Tier 6, is when you can go up to Tier 5 and get 164,000. That's a little better. But is it enough still? Let's go to some of the other systems. Maybe some of the systems I grinded a lot in. I grinded a lot in Terex here with my Saladin. Was able to get some... Oh, it's right. It's not that. But like from the boxes, I think you got interceptor parts, which I needed because I'm telling you, back then I was free to play. Was not spending on this game. So I didn't have a lot of Latinum to spend on ship parts. So I did want to grind for some. 130,000 for this 37. Level 37 hostile. You can't one-shot it. I can't one-shot it with my cube. And this is an interceptor. Something I did want to mention and I totally forgot to mention is why I was at Barnard Star. Let me go back to Barnard Star before I get too far into what I wanted to talk about at Terex. Take a look at the 39 in this system. 145,000. Two-shotting. This 39 gets a kill. 186,000 between the two cutting beams. But look at these transports. 350,000. You notice the big difference there. That's why this is one system that I chose. You can better charge your cutting beam on the survey ships as opposed to hitting the interceptors. But then hit the interceptors with your cutting beam. Make that clear there. Typically, between the four type of ships, survey, battleship, explorer, interceptor. Interceptors typically have less hull, meaning can better kill them with your cutting beam. But if you find a system that has, let's say, interceptors and battleships, or interceptors and survey ships preferably, you can better charge your cutting beam on the survey ships and the battleships, and then therefore also have a few interceptors to hit with your cutting beam. Try to make the grind a little easier. Alright, back to Terex. Check this 39 out. 199,000. You notice the 39 in Barnard Star, I could double tap. I can't double tap this one. Why? Well, for one reason, the cutting beam is too weak. But it's more than 186,000, so I would have to triple tap it. There is a difference in these hull sizes. There is. So why can I kill a 39 with two shots in one system over here, but in this other system, I can't double shot a 39? Why? Because the cutting beam is too weak. It's just too weak. I mean, I can't even tier up. Go to tier 5, right? Yeah. Tier 5, because remember from the chart, Tier 5 is when you get 164,000. Which supposedly the cube is supposed to be equal to a Tier 6 G3 Epic. You're going to be trashing these 39s with your G3 Epic. Can you trash it with your cutting beam? No. You still can. You still would not be able to one-shot this level 39 with your cutting beam. But yet you could kick the shit out of all the hostiles in the system with one G3 Epic at Tier 6. Yes, the cutting beam is too weak. It needs to be stronger. Let's go to... Where am I going? I'm coming all the way over here. Where is it? It's a system a lot of you are probably familiar with. Assuming this is the rep path that you're going, that you have chosen. What are the hull sizes here? Think you can grind with your cutting beam in this system? Let's check out the 38s. 1 million. Okay. To be more accurate, 1.24 million. When can you be able to kill these guys? Well, it looks like Tier 6, 2.4 million. Wow, it goes from 164,000 to 2.4 million, huh? I guess that makes sense. Borg cubes at Tier 6. So what ships should you have? G4 uncommons. Really? You're going to get your G4 uncommons and you're going to come back down here to Tygo Core? I don't remember doing that. I remember making my way through Dark Space. That's just me. I remember having a Tier 4 auger and being able to grind my ass off in Tygo Core. And this was 2.5 years ago. There was no Hugh. There was no Tendi. There was no Mariner. It was Pike Moreau Chen. Or Pike Moreau Talon, if you were hitting interceptors. That's who we grinded hostiles with. I remember having a Tier 6 D4. Later on, when I got a little higher in the 30s, I did build another Epic. I didn't build an Enterprise because I don't use that dumbass Enterprise. Started grinding with the D4 just because it was faster. More impulse speed. Get your dailies over faster. Of course, at the same time, I really liked the chests from Tygo Core, and I really liked the amount of rep I was gaining. So I just stayed in there until I died. Get over 100 boxes with my D4. So yes, a mid to high 30s player can grind the shit out of hostiles in Tygo Core with their G3 Epic. Look at these numbers. Can they grind the shit out of Tygo Core with the Borg cutting beam? No. I mean, look at that, 164,000. Right? Which is, according to this chart, equal to a Tier 6 G3 Epic. But these are requirements here. And I know this is information gathered by people that don't work for the game. This is a requirement. To get the Borg Cube 2 Tier 6, you have to have these G4 uncommons at Tier 6. So therefore we are associating them together. And that's why I'm saying G3 Epic at tier 6 is what a tier 5 Borg cube is about equivalent to. But yet, you come into Tygo Core, you can't grind with your cutting beam. I mean, you can. I mean, you got to hit the 38s. How many times with the cutting beam? I mean, there are 1.2 million. Cutting beam does 164,000. What do you got to hit them 8 times? Wow. Yeah, man, the cutting beam is weak. It's weak. It's really weak. It does need to be upgraded. Now, one thing that I have noticed moving up in level, I do think the cargo bay problem does work itself out. I have done a run out here with this tier of my cube, and I think the cargo bay is fine now. Or at least at this tier, it's fine. Of course, at the same time, I have data and I have lawn below deck. So, it's kind of worked out. However, all right, let's wrap this up. What I really wanted to do here is, I don't know how much I really accomplished that. I did want to pass on the chart here for the Borg cube. Again, I didn't make it, but I know some of you out there are on Discord and therefore probably don't have access to this chart, but maybe you watch some YouTube videos and therefore now maybe you can have the chart and get some use out of it. Just spread around this information. Maybe make it a little easier for some folks. And explain to you about some of the hull sizes and let you know that the interceptors traditionally have a little less hull than some of the other ships out there. Survey ships, battleships, they're going to be on the higher side. Explorers are kind of in the middle. So it might behoove you to find a system like, say, a Barnard Star here, where you have plenty of survey ships and plenty of interceptors. Charge the cube on the survey ships, use a cutting beam on the interceptors. And at the same time, because I am the Angry Rhino, bitch, moan, whine, and complain and rant about me not liking this. As much as I would prefer to like it. Cutting beam does need to be stronger. You can't make cube tier a requirement at a certain level, like say mid 30s or high 30s, and then say that the cutting beam can't take out hostiles that you can easily take out with your faction ships at those levels. You can easily grind in Tygo Core with a G3 Epic. You can. I've seen people do it with G3 Uncommons. Now, especially now with, Hugh and Tendy and all these other lower deckers. We didn't have them back in my day. And cutting beam has to be stronger. You got to be able to grind in Tygo Core with the cutting beam. Otherwise, it's too weak. Let me know what you think out there. Do people still grind in Tygo Core? Is it the rep? Is it the boxes you really like? And do you agree that the cutting beam should be able to one-shot some of those transport ships in Tygo Core? Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.